Hey, it's Dawson, and today we're going to completely disassemble this Electron Plus 3 C1 gun and reassemble it. The tools needed today are a 6mm socket with an extension, a small flat blade, a number 1 Phillips, a 13mm socket, and a 1.5mm Allen. The first thing that we are going to do is take off the threaded sleeve, nozzle, and electrode. Next, we're going to deassemble the rinsing fitting as well as the powder tube assembly using our 6mm ratchet and our 13mm socket. Now, using our Phillips screwdriver, we can unscrew the 3 screws on the back of the remote. Now, by carefully pulling on the back of the remote, you can disconnect the remote from the gun body. To disconnect these wiring harnesses, use your small flat blade to push down this white prong and then slowly pull out. Next, disconnect the screw using your number 1 Phillips. This will completely disconnect the remote from the gun. Next, to disconnect the handle from the gun body, you must slowly pull down on the handle. Wires will slowly pull through this oval-shaped hole. Be careful pulling these out. Once the handle is out, then the trigger will pull straight out towards the front of the gun. To pull out the cascade, do a few light taps on the palm of your hand until you can grab the cascade and pull it out. To disconnect the handle from the gun cable, there are 2 small set screws at the bottom of the handle. Use your 1.5mm Allen to unscrew them. Now that the set screws are pulled out, we can slowly pull on the gun cable and it will pull straight through the handle. The last thing to do is to disconnect the back cover from the remote. Using your small flat blade screwdriver, inside of these terminals you will loosen the left screw, which is the white wire, and the right screw, which is your white wire that is colored black. Now that both white wires are disconnected, unscrew this last screw holding the cover to the remote. Now that the screw is out, slowly pull the remote away from the back cover. Now that we have fully deassembled the Electron Plus 3 C1 gun, let's go ahead and reassemble it. First, reassemble the back cover to the remote by first feeding these wires through this itty bitty hole here and then connecting it back to the terminal with white on the left and black on the right. Now that both white wires are connected, insert 1 screw to hold the assembly together. Now feed the gun cable into the bottom of the handle and tighten down the set screws. We're going to install the handle back onto the gun body. In order to do this, you need to slide the gun handle on this rail like so, while also feeding the wires through the hole at the same time. When sliding the gun handle onto the gun body, do not completely seal it closed until you install the trigger. With the gun handle not completely flush up against the gun body, slide the trigger in through these holes all the way back. Now you can make the gun handle flush with the gun body. Now connect the ground back to the remote and connect all wiring harnesses. Now install the cascade by simply sliding it into the gun body and sealing it with this gasket. Be sure to connect the wiring harness. Screw the remote back into the gun body. Be sure to not pinch any wires while screwing the remote down. Next, install the powder tube, locking plate, and rinsing fitting. Now install the spring, chrome collar, and hose connector back onto the powder tube. Last but not least, install the electrode, nozzle, and threaded sleeve back onto the end of the gun. And that is how you completely disassemble and reassemble an Electron +3 C1 gun.